I respect your time, so let's get right into it. If you are here, I assume you like to poke backside just as much as I do. Now, this is going to be a series of short videos, basically just me testing out different builds and showing quantitatively what sort of damage numbers each build can give. Today, we're going to try and answer the most basic question of all. Should Spearknights go Dexterity or Vitality as their secondary stat? Now, Dexterity versus Vitality is basically asking you whether you want to poke backside harder or you want to last longer, since 1 point of Dexterity gives a Spear Knight 2 haste and 2 hit, and every 5 points of Dexterity gives 1 P attack, and 100 Dexterity gives a bonus of 10 haste and 10 hit. On the other hand, 1 point of Vitality gives 466 HP and 2 defense, while 100 points of Vitality gives a bonus of 2.3k HP and 10 defense. For Spear Knights, the dilemma comes from the following 3 skills. Number 1, Spear Proficiency, where your attack increases by 80 plus 50% of dex when equipped with a spear. Another one is Cavalry Training, where attack increases by 80 plus 50% of dex when mounted. Versus Call of Justice, where you convert Vitality to attack, increasing attack by 2 for every 1 Vitality. Now, looking at my current stats, it's either I have 61 Vitality or 61 Dexterity. Now, 61 Vitality means I'm getting 122 attack from the Call of Justice passive, while 61 Dexterity means I'm getting 30 attack from each of the Dex passive. So 2 Dex passives means I'm getting 60 attack overall. So every 5 points of Dexterity gives me 1 attack, so 60 Dex will give me an extra 12 attack. So altogether, 60 Dexterity gives me 72 attack. So purely looking at it from a numbers perspective, it's pretty clear Vitality is overall a better stat than Dex in terms of attack numbers. But it's very hard to quantify the effectiveness of haste from Dexterity, because for example, 100 haste by itself is not very effective. However, if 100 haste allows you to get to the next skill level with 0 variable cooldown, that 100 haste is insanely effective. But in all honesty, at higher levels, the amount of haste we get from Dexterity is kind of negligible since it's flat haste, and based on the haste table, flat haste has a diminishing return the higher you go. So overall, Vitality gives more damage, more HP, more defense, while Dexterity gives less damage, less HP, and flat haste. Now, I would say Vitality definitely seems better overall. Okay, the next part is going to sound really dumb, but bear with me. Right after I say Vitality is better than Dexterity for Spear Knights, I want to offer an alternative to actually add Dexterity. Now, if we look at the skills again, Spear Proficiency plus Cavalry Training versus Call of Justice, the reason why Vitality wins in terms of damage is because Call of Justice has a 1:2 ratio. 1 Vitality gives you 2 attack, whereas the 2 Dex passives have a combined 1:1 ratio for attack. However, the more you add a certain stat, the more stat points you are going to need. Now, for example, you can see the number 703 here. That is the total number of stat points I have. So right now, I have not added a single stat. And if I want to add 1 strength, I only need 2 stat points. So if I click 1 time, you can see that 703 becomes 701. So after adding 10 strength, the next point of strength requires 3 stat points instead of the 2 from the rest of the other stats. So I'm going to add 10 strength again, and this time round it's going to increase to 4 stat points, another 10, 5 stat points, so on and so forth. So after I max out my strength, I have 272 stat points left. So based on what I mentioned just now, adding Vitality is better, so I should go all in on Vitality, right? That's where I believe that there's an alternative, there's a different way to do it. Because technically speaking, in terms of stat point efficiency, given that 100 Vitality is a breakpoint, since I get a bonus of 2.3k HP and 10 defense, the 6 Vitality that I added after hitting 100 Vitality is technically not very stat point efficient because it took me 42 stat points to gain 6 Vitality. Now, if I were to spend that 42 stat points on Dexterity, I would have actually gained 18 Dexterity. So the question now becomes, is 18 Dexterity more useful than 6 Vitality? So 6 Vitality gives me 12 attack from the Call of Justice passive. Remember, 1:2 ratio. And 18 Dexterity gives me a combined 18 attack from the Spear Proficiency and Cavalry Training passive. 1:1 ratio. So purely based on numbers, it seems like adding Dexterity after hitting 100 Vitality would be more efficient stat point wise. The efficiency would last as long as the ratio of stat points used for vitality is 2 times the amount needed for dexterity. Now this is honestly just extra min-maxing, since eventually you would just max out vitality anyway. So everything that we've talked about so far is just theory crafting. How can we prove it? We are going to try 3 tests. Test number 1, full vitality, everything else is constant, same skill build, no change in gear, so on and so forth. Test number 2, full dexterity, same skill build, no change in gear. Test number 3, after I hit 100 vitality, I will swap to add dexterity, exact same skill build, no change in gear, no nothing. Let's see what happens. So as you can see from the numbers, after hitting 100 vitality, swapping over to dexterity seems to get me slightly better damage numbers. Now, this is just a little extra min-maxing along the way, because eventually you'll be maxing out vitality anyway. So what does this all mean? If you are a Spear Knight that has an emphasis for PvP, going full vitality after strength is fine, since it gives HP and defense. Now, if you are a Spear Knight that is currently adding dexterity, because of the notion that Spear Knights needs haste and we have 2 dex passives, time to change. If you just want to min-max your damage output and be efficient with stat points, you can consider adding some dexterity when the amount of stat points required for vitality is more than 2 times required. So for example, I currently have 60 vitality. The next point of vitality costs me 8 stat points each, whereas the next point of dexterity only costs me 2 stat points each. It is literally 4 times more expensive to add vitality than dex for me at this point. But I can achieve greater damage output by going for dexterity until it costs 4 stat points each. Then it will be pretty even once again, and I will go back to adding vitality. Alright, that's it for me. In my next video, I will explore the best skill rotations and skill builds for Spear Knights, and I actually posted the question on my community tab. Let me know what is the most efficient skill rotation on large mobs and MVPs, and I shall test it out and credit you for it. Leave a like if this video helped you gain a different insight about stat point allocation, and if you like videos that provide value to your gameplay and help keep you ahead of the free-to-play curve, subscribe. As always, outplay, not outpay. Bye!